Good afternoon and welcome to Gateshead International Stadium. This is the Heat Army podcast live on DAZN National League TV as well. It's the end of the season for one of these teams. There will be at least one more game guaranteed for the winner of this game, or if Southend draw, it's all to play for. Gateshead have spent much of the season in the playoffs, but this afternoon they need to fight to get back into them, whereas Southend have gradually built up towards the end of the season and got themselves into the playoffs. This is where it all comes down, the final curtain for one of these teams this afternoon. My name's David Gaddis. I'm joined by Mark Curvers. And Mark, well, for being comfortable in the playoffs, 8 weeks ago now, to having to battle to get back into them, it's quite the stark contrast for Gateshead.
It is, when you think we were sat here mid-December talking about being on the fringes of a title battle. It's been a really poor second half to the season, but given the inability of other clubs to really put together a sustained run, Gateshead still somehow have a chance to break into playoffs in the last day of the season. I mean, you couldn't have written it, could you? The fact that, well, someone probably did, but I don't know any decent journalists. So, but you look at it and think, well, it's the ideal end of the season for both clubs. I mean, Southend here to try and kill off Gateshead's hopes once and for all. Gateshead here to try and disrupt Southend's march towards the playoffs. And I think, firstly, and I realise you were going to say this, but I think we should credit Southend for what is a spectacular away following in the far stand here. A big club, a football league club and everything but status. And phenomenal away support, probably the best we've seen here by some distance today.
We'll definitely mention it several times, and of course when we go live on National League TV as well, so you might hear us repeat a little bit on that bit. But yeah, no, magnificent away following. I mean, they had just under 10,000 at their last home game, as you say, football league side all but in name. Arguably, I would say a championship side in recent history. You know that they have been there, they have competed. There's nothing to say they can't strive up the leagues again, like we're seeing with Stockport County. Wrexham, of course, is a special case and point, but we're seeing the likes of Chesterfield and Notts County still pushing for promotion after having been in the National League in recent seasons. And it really can be a springboard, and as you say, either side will be looking to use this game to have a good run into the playoffs.
Well, look, if we're being brutally honest, and I mean brutally honest, Gateshead have no momentum coming into this.
No, not at all.
No momentum whatsoever. And the form is at 2 wins in 13. That they are going to have to pull something out the bag from nowhere today. But this club's been in more dire situations than that in the not too distant past. And we shouldn't really forget that at the end of the day, the club is still punching above its weight. But you can only rely on that story for so long, and it's time for Gateshead to start writing their own stories, and that has to begin today with what will be a massive win against a very, very good informed side. And it's frustrating the way the season's gone. I know there's other factors behind it. We can talk about what they are till the cows come home, but it's down to those 11 on the pitch or the lads who come off the bench today to turn an abysmal run of form around and squeak into the playoffs on the final day, and then anything can happen once you get in there. It looks as if it's going to be a phenomenal show of home support as well.
It certainly is. I think we're going to be at least hitting towards a 4,000 crowd here at Gateshead National Stadium here this afternoon. And Mark, as a word that I've been sick of saying, especially the second end of the season, the second half of the season, should I say, consistency and concentration from Gateshead, and that is what has been lacking. We've seen flashes in games where they've had a 30-40 minute spell, maybe a 20-minute spell of being the Gateshead of old, where they've kept control of the ball, dictated the game, but then it's just been a mistake, it's been their undoing, and that has to be what they have to cut out today.
They have to concentrate for 90 minutes because you look at the quality in the Southend side. There is enough quality in there to really harm Gateshead if they aren't at it. And look, it's absolutely not an excuse, but I am going to say it. But the style of football Gateshead play, the pitch has killed them here because you can see already. Yeah. I mean, we've got Paul Dixon here from BBC Newcastle who has been on the pitch before the game, and he said it looks even worse when you're on it than it does from up here. So that's not good enough from the authorities.
If we are live on National League TV now, of course, welcome to the broadcast. I'm sure the camera is on the pitch at the moment. It is. There is an incredible, you'd say 1/3 of the pitch is absolutely rough. The goal mouths are all right. The goals seem to be okay. One's cut up a little bit, but as you say, Mark, the surface has normally been, the proverbial carpet here at Gateshead International Stadium over the last few years, and Gateshead took full advantage of that, using every blade of grass. But today it is going to be, a key factor in the style of play. I will go through the teams and then I'll go through them again when they come out. In goal for the visitors is Nick Hayes, Gus Scott Morris, the captain Nathan Ralph, Jack Bridge, Noah Hussein, Harry Taylor, Ben Goodlife, Tom Hopper, Keenan Apaya Forson, Charlie Kendall, and Ollie Cocker is on the starting lineup. On the bench is Colin Agandini, George Wind, Macaulay Bowen, Josh Walker, Joe Gubbins, Cav Miley, and Leon Chambers Pallerin. Now, just Macaulay Bowen a few seasons ago, I remember commentating on that young man when he was playing for Leyton Orient, and that's some firepower to have on the benchmark.
It is, yeah, championship player. Not so long ago, as you say, just a brilliant striker, and someone who I'm sure will be a threat if he does come off the bench. There's enough, as I say again, I'll repeat it, but there's enough quality in that squad, in that side, and that starting 11 to really hurt Gateshead today.
Well, we'll go through Gateshead starting 11 here. It's George Shelby in goal. The captain is Kent Richardson. Ryan Bartley made to return to the starting lineup. Regan Booty, Ben Warman, Liam Humbles, Joe Grayson, Luke Hannon, Tyrell Newton, Tim Akinola, and up top is Joe Von Malcolm. On the bench is Tiernan Brooks, Max Sheep, Tyrell Sellers-Fleming, Brandon Horton, Frank Newbley, Charlie Colquitt, and Jamie Bramwell. And, well, as I say, the squad has been as strong as it's been for quite some time for Gateshead. And I suppose nothing can be left out there today. It's all got to be given.
They have to. It's a simple fact. If they don't go out and deliver a performance, then, they leave themselves open to criticism, don't they? Let's be honest. It's the very least Carl Magny will expect today is 100% effort in everything. I've heard a phrase from a couple of managers of other clubs that I cover where they ask their players to empty the tank, and Gateshead have to absolutely empty the tank today and give everything to get through into the playoffs. Anything less.
And of course, for the visitors, Southend, of course, they have 1 foot in the playoffs as it stands. Concentration is key for them as well. They can't take the foot off the pedal. They're going to have to be, see this game out, whether it's a win or a draw. Preferably, I imagine they'd want to win and see this out, comfortably. But, as it's for Gateshead, it is for Southend. Both teams have got to go for it and get the result today.
Well, it's an interesting one from Southend's point of view because a draw is good enough for them. But I think, knowing how the manager is and knowing how the players are, their only focus is come and get a win. And we talk about momentum. It's one of the biggest things in football. If they can win here and take momentum into the playoffs because of what they've done in recent weeks, then they'll have a cracking chance of getting up. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, they have got to concentrate. They've got to do all the things they've been doing in recent weeks to get into the playoffs. And I think more than anything, they've got to come here and try and get a win.
Well, the Tyne Weir stand is filling up nicely here, and the crowd are starting to find their voices. On the far side, we can hear the Southend fans singing as well. There's fancy dress out there. I think there's even some traffic cones, Mark, I've seen on the far side. The beach balls are flying. Also, there's an inflatable something else knocking about. I don't know if that's been picked up on camera. But everyone's here for a party atmosphere.
Oh, yes, I've just seen what you meant. Yeah, let's hope it hasn't been caught on camera.
Yeah, so I think that's life size as well. It is going to be a fantastic afternoon of football. The curtain is going to come down for one of these teams here in the National League. And, still being involved on the last game of the season is the way you'd like it, as long as you're at the right end of the table, that is. But yeah, lots to play for Gateshead and for Southend. Does Wembley await one of these teams? Hopefully it does, but we'll let you know on the full-time whistle. You won't miss a kick here with us on the Heat Army podcast and live on DAZN National League TV. We do thank you for your company. We do believe that we do have an audience at Roots Hall as well. I think they've sold over 1,000 tickets, Mark. So big hello to everyone there at Roots Hall that are watching as well. We hope you enjoy this afternoon's match. It's all to play for, and your boys will be giving their all, as will Gateshead. And we really do appreciate everyone that is joining us, whether it be on our audio stream on YouTube or on the DAZN website for National League TV. The speakers are absolutely blaring a little bit too loud here in the stand. It's Hopefully you can hear us okay. That'll calm down once the players come out, but the cameras are down at the tunnel. We're waiting the players to come out. We're moments away from the last game of the regular season here. And Mark, lovely to see lots of families here in the Tyne and Wear stand. You can see there's a lot of youngsters on the far end as well. It's got an FA Cup feel about it, this one.
It's funny, I was just thinking that myself, and it is effectively a cup game, isn't it? It's the start of the playoffs. It's like the additional playoff game, and it's a one that both sides have literally got to give everything here to get through. Yes, Southend have got the upper hand, and they've earned that over recent weeks. But Gateshead have just got to do everything they can to get in and really justify why this backing has come from the Northeast football community.
Well, talking about the Northeast football community, former Gateshead assistant manager and coach, and I think he had a few other roles in the club at one point. Ian Watson is here. There's Jeff Winter, former Premier League referee, in attendance as well, and there's a few other footballing names around from other teams in the region. We'll mention them later on. I think Jason Haynes is here, former Gateshead player. Gavin Fell, who's the Blythe Town manager, who just got his team promoted, who will be playing Blythe Spartans next year, which is a fixture I don't think many people seen coming a few seasons ago. But they've both been on a different path in the footballing pyramid, and they've met each other. But
2,100 at that playoff final.
Wow.
Northern League Division 1 playoff final. Incredible.
Amazing stuff. And, the music is playing. We are waiting the teams to come out momentarily here at Gateshead International Stadium. When they come out, I'll read out the squads again. But we'd just like to say a big thank you for your company this season, whether you've been watching us all season long from abroad or if you've tuned in just for this game. We do appreciate you joining us, and we hope you've enjoyed the commentary this season. It's been a pleasure to give it to you, and hopefully there might be another game or two more in the offing for either side here as we enter the playoff season. Well, now the teams are coming out onto the pitch here at Gateshead International Stadium. Nick Hayes in goal for the visitors. Gus Scott Morris, the captain. Nathan Ralph leads out his team. Jack Bridge, Noah Hussein, Harry Taylor, Ben Goodlife, Tom Hooper, Keenan Apaya Forson, Charlie Kendall, and Ollie Croker. Then it is Colin Adeng Needy, George Wynn, Macaulay Bowden, Josh Walker, Joe Gubbins, Cav Miley, and Leon Chambers Parolin. And for Gateshead, this is how they line up this afternoon. In goal is George Shelby, Captain Kenton Richardson, Ryan Bartley, Regan Booty, Ben Warman, Liam Humbles, Joe Grayson, Luke Hannant, Tyrell Newton, Tim Akinola, and Jovan Malcolm is up top. On the bench for Gateshead is Tiernan Brooks, Max Sheep, Tyrell Sellers-Fleming, Brandon Horton, Frank Newbley, Charlie Colquitt, and Jamie Bramwell. For our audio listeners, Southend are all in red with the keeper in a grey strip, and Gateshead in their white and black strips, with George Shelby in his Mr. Tumble strip, as we've come to know it, with all the little spots on it, but he's in bright yellow. And Mark, as I say, it's been a long season, and if this is the end of our campaign on the microphone, it's been a pleasure spending it with you.
Yeah, it has. It's been that first day of the season against Ebbsfleet. It feels a long time ago, given what's gone on at the club in the last 9 months. You know, from obviously the injuries in the first 2 weeks to Joe Grayson and the Greg Ollie one. Greg still, that's his last appearance of the season. To managers leaving, managers be appointed, all of that. It's just been a crazy season again. You just want just a season of no drama at Gateshead, don't you? But we don't get it.
It would be nice just to concentrate on the football for once. And we have got a message from one of our listeners Thomas Dolman, who's listening in Ward 2 in the QE, and he's had too much oxygen poisoning. So hopefully he's all right, and he's looking to get a win for the home supporters. And also big get well soon to Liv Walden as well. She is unable to attend today due to ill health. So we hope that you enjoy this. And if you'd like to message us on @Heed_Army on Twitter, we'd love to have some pictures from Roots Hall as well. Show us where you're watching from or wherever you might be in the world. But we are about to get underway. Gateshead are going to be shooting towards the River Tyne. Southend are going to be shooting towards the Fellon End. We're moments away from the last game of the regular season here in the Vanarama National League, live on DAZN. And it is going to be Coker gets us underway. And the ball out to the left wing already with Jack Bridge driving down that left-hand side, takes it on the dead ball line. It comes off a Gateshead player and out for a corner on the far side.
Well, there's a statement of intent straight away from Southend. I think Gateshead anticipating the ball, a long diagonal ball to the right-hand side, and it's gone down that left. And a great break and good cover. Early tactical call from Gateshead. It looks like Liam Humbles is starting on the right wing-back position.
Well, Jack Bridge it was with that driving run, but in comes the corner now. Booty heads the ball away, but Southend will be able to get it under control and pass it calmly back to Taylor, who takes a touch, pings it back out to that left-hand side, looking for Bridge, and the ball's been headed out by Liam Humbles for a throw. Well, we've got Donna listening in from Cyprus. Thank you very much. Greetings from West Peterborough as well, from Ginger Joe.
Long throw coming in.
Yeah, he's drying the ball on his shirt at the moment. In comes the delivery now. In there, nodded on, but it falls to Shelby there. Sends the ball forward, looking for the run of one of the Gateshead players, but it holds up in the air. Javon Malcolm was fouled, trying to hold the ball up.
Did very well there, Javon Malcolm. Ball just span back, didn't it?
It did, yeah. There was lots. It doesn't seem that windy from where we are, but looked like it did hold up in the wind. But Gateshead just playing around the back at the moment. Bartley gets his first touch, back to Kenton Richardson. Booty looks for the run of Hannant, but it's cut out. Brought down in midfield and quickly thread through, but Grayson blocks the ball and quickly gives it to Regan Booty on the halfway line. Spreads it through, and Akinola has had a haircut. His dreadlocks have gone. I was looking for him before, couldn't find him. As the ball has been played over the top, looking for Hopper, who does well to get it under control with Bartley. Ball into the centre, and well, Charlie Kendall was millimetres away from getting contact on that one into the back of the net.
What a cross that was from Tom Hopper as well. It's just taken Gateshead's defence and goalkeeper out of the equation. It's a stunning cross, and you're right, Charlie Kendall just inches away from getting something on that. Really positive start here from Southend.
And a magnificent away following. We can hear them on the far side. As we mentioned in the build-up, lots of fancy dress over there. There was beach balls, other inflatables knocking about. Having a great time, other Shrimper fans. As the ball is up in the air. Bartley wins the header. Warman can send it away, but only found Nathan Ralph. Bridge on the far side, lays it off to Coker, back to Bridge. Bridge trying to get past Humbles and does so, holding the ball up. Good cross into the box, but goes behind for a corner. And a real statement of intent from the visitors so far. 4 minutes gone, and it's all been the visitors.
It has, and they're controlling the tempo already. Again, that threat looks like it's going to come down the left-hand side, doesn't it? It's all three attacks so far have come that side.
I think Bridge and Coker have got a good relationship over there. They seem to have a bit of telepathy with the movement. In comes the delivery towards the near post, headed up in the air, and it's going to go behind for another corner. Goal kick.
Yeah, I think the Gateshead players headed on to.
No, there isn't any appeal, so it's been a long season, Mark.
Don't have to tell me, mate.
I'm not just saying this because obviously we know the game's being broadcast at Roots Hall, but that's the best away following we've had all season, noisiest as well. But Gateshead dispossessed in midfield, and now the Pio Forson brings it forward, right hand side, crosses it in. It's deep, too deep, headed away though by Bartley, and it's going to be kept in play by Bridge on the far side. Back to Ralph. Ralph looks to get a delivery in.
2v1 back post.
Well, Bridge trying some trickery, does get the cross in. It's a dangerous one. It comes off the back of a Gateshead player's head, and here comes the follow-up shot over the bar. And, I don't know how much the Gateshead defender knew about that one, but it fell in the path for Southend, but they couldn't get it down. I think it was Scott Morris there with the shot.
Only one side in it so far, isn't there? Really good start from Southend, and sense the confidence and vibrancy in the side.
The fans as well. There's a big contrast in the stands as well. And so the away fans are full of noise, and Gateshead are quite nervously quiet at the moment. But the ball does drop on the far side. Siobhan Malcolm, if he looks up, he's got Hannon on this far side. He uses Hannon, corner of the box, cuts in. Oh, he tries to lay it off. Was he fouled? Referee says no, he was looking for it, but Gateshead still have the ball. Out of Humbles on the right hand side now for Gateshead. Back to Bartley. Bartley back to Richardson in the centre circle. Comes across to the left hand side with Grayson. Grayson, nice ball inside to Booty. Booty threads it out now to Warman. Warman tries to thread it through and it goes out for a throw.
Much better. Yeah.
First real attack.
Yeah, much better from Gateshead. Just a bit of composure for the first time in the game, getting the ball down and passing it like we know they can. It's what they're known for. They just haven't done it enough in recent weeks and months. But some promising signs.
Regan Booty gives the throw to Grayson. Grayson puts the delivery in. It's a whipped one, but it headed away only as far as Humbles. Humbles tried to poke it through.
Did the hard bit getting it down.
Yeah, and it's going to go out for another Gateshead throw on the far side. In front of the following away support.
From a Gateshead point of view, you'd hope this little passage of play, and it is a very small one, is done them the world of good and just got them settled a little bit, because they looked anything but settled in the opening 5 minutes there.
Well, Grayson on the ball now under pressure, plays it back to his keeper. Gateshead can build from the back once again. Shelby looks to pick out Hannant in front of the away dugout. He nods it down and Siobhan Malcolm gets onto it. Couldn't get it through. Regan Booty's going to pick up the ball in midfield, puts it back over the top, asking a lot of Siobhan Malcolm, but he's chasing it down. Taylor plays it back to his keeper. He clears it well up the pitch. Booty nods it down, no, got it to Hannant. Hannant needs, it just slipped away from him. Out for a throw there.
At least it's got the home support into the game a little bit there, that little passage.
Well, small signs from Gateshead. Someone's asking if Gateshead can still qualify with a draw. They cannot. It has to be 3 points for Gateshead. The visitors can, though, as the ball goes further forward. Doesn't roll out just yet. It does now, and it's a Gateshead throw. Well, the Southend forward line, they're right on the shoulders of the Gateshead defenders at any time the ball is up that end of the pitch, and Gateshead looking to break, get the ball up to Jovan Malcolm, but he had three players around him.
Gateshead got to get closer to Malcolm. There's a big gap between him there in the midfield, and he's got 4 men around him, and he's got no support whatsoever.
Well, Nick Hayes in no hurry. Now he pumps the ball up the pitch. Booty nodded it down into the path of a Southend player, and the ball hasn't been cleared. In comes the low cross, easy for Shelby to deal with, but a little bit flat-footed there, the Gateshead defence.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite fortunate, to be fair, how the ball's rebounded there on the left-hand side, but got away with it in the end.
Shelby, former Nottingham Forest man, plays the ball to Akinola. Bartley back to Shelby. Shelby pumps the ball up, and Malcolm can't get to that one. As the visitors just pass it around the back. Ben Goodlife just slows the game down, plays it out to Ralph. Ralph has a runner, but gives it to Bridge. Now that runner can try and get onto it, but Bartley read it well and puts it out to play. But Charlie Kendall was lurking on that left wing.
Been a real threat so far, hasn't he, Kendall? He's worked across the forward line really well. Giving Bartley a bit of a hard time over there.
Well, throw has been taken. Bridge gets the ball back, goes up against Humbles, gets the cross in, but it goes out for another corner. 10 minutes gone, it's 0-0 here. Southend have been the better side in the opening exchanges. if you're just joining us. While we wait the delivery, there's a little bit of movement in and around the penalty area. Bit of pushing and shoving. In comes the delivery. It's going to go towards the back post. Headed behind though.
Just
athletically trying to keep that in there. Didn't quite work, but it's a goal kick to Gateshead. Shelby. To Bartley. Real high press. A lot of energy and movement from the visitors, forcing a mistake from Gateshead. And that's something Gateshead's going to have to live with here if they're going to,
Colin Magnet there is just telling Shelby just to go a bit longer and a bit more direct. I think would have been the right call in that situation. And the high press is in there. Sometimes you've got to play over the top of it. As much as Gateshead like to play out from the back, sometimes if it's not on, don't try it.
Well, Ralph looks to get this ball to Bridge, and he does so. Bridge cuts inside of it. He's looking a real handful at the moment. Bridge goes for a long shot, deflected off a Gateshead player. Peels for handball on the far side. Cleared by Booty up towards Malcolm. And Taylor does enough to head it away, but Warman gets it to Tyrell Newton. Hannon puts it over the top. And Good Life can just bring that down with ease and pass it over as Bridge again gets the ball on the far side. Drives at Humbles. In comes the cross and goes out for a goal kick. He's looking a real handful, isn't he, when he gets on the ball?
Yeah, I mean, because he's so direct, he's running it. Let's be honest here, Liam Humbles isn't the right wing back and he's out of position. We know where we like to see him play in midfield, but at the minute, I think you look at Jack Bridge and he's just going to have him on toes for the game at the moment.
Yeah. Certainly seems to have the beating of him, doesn't he? Or the measure, should I say.
I mean, we should give Humble some credit because he has blocked 2 or 3 of the crosses so far. He's stuck with them, but it's one thing doing it over 15 minutes, it's another doing it over the whole 90.
Good Life just pings the ball forward, headed away by Kent Richardson, nodded back, and the ball Hannon sees out for a throw to Gateshead. Warman gets the ball to Grayson and come back at him rather fast, and the ball has went out of play again.
Just an awkward ball back to Joe Grayson. He's trying to volley it clear at hip height.
Well, it does have a throw in front of the Gateshead dugout. The referee's telling him to get back. Scott Morris pops up with a good few goals. I told him to get back. The fourth officials telling them where to throw it from. You don't see that pulled up that much, really, do you?
No, I was just thinking that.
Throws it down the line into the channel. Hammond has to put it out.
Now we've got a chance.
Throw. Now we've got a good chance with the throw from here, this position. Of course, the multi-ball in effect here with the running track. Morris throws it short. Scott Morris has it now. Can he put the cross in? Oh, good work from Humbles, and he brings the ball away. Can he send Gateshead onto an attack here as he carries the ball forward? Threads it through to Newton. Newton plays it forward, looking for the run of Warman, and Warman fouls his player there, and Scott Morris is writhing in agony on the floor.
Just so slow there, Gateshead in transition.
Well, it's going to be Nick Hayes is going to take this free kick. And 5 yards from the touchline, third up the pitch. And he pings it right up towards the Gateshead penalty area, nodded on. It's been picked up though by the Paya Force and put into the centre, and poked behind. And the referee didn't have a clue.
Didn't
The referee there.
Tossed a coin on that one, I think.
Yeah, the linesman didn't flag either, so that's
Personally, I think it was a corner.
my first impressions. I thought it was a corner. Well, we are into the 16th minute, still 0-0. I'd have to say Southend just on top, or maybe a little bit more than just. Nodded on by Warman, hooked away and out for a throw to Gateshead there. Taylor just couldn't get the contact he wanted on that one.
Going to be an interesting contest down this left-hand side, isn't it? Hannant against Scott Morris. Two similar characters, would we say?
Both have an eye for goal, don't they?
It's not really what I was edging out there, but
yeah, I know. Worky tickets, as they say in this part of the country. But the ball can be brought down by Akinola, nods it to Humbles. He's under pressure from Bridge.
He's also got no option. He's got absolutely no option there. No one moving from.
Well, he got the ball back to Shelby, all in yellow outside the gated area. Gives it to Richardson and can turn over to this left-hand side of Grayson, who's seen the run of Jovan Malcolm, but he's quickly off his line there. Good goalkeeping. And well, he's blaming the pitch for his.
I mean, there's plenty of blame the pitch for.
There is. Well, he's going to kick this one off the ground. Up it goes. There's a little shirt tugging from both sides. Hannant gets the ball on this left-hand side, pings it forward. Not much to aim at though, and Good Life can play that all the way back to Hayes. Good Life gets the ball back in the centre up under pressure from Newton. Just loses his footing, but Taylor receives the ball and can bring it forward. Looking for runners in the centre there. Gated of a high line at the moment. Ball over the top. Looking for Hopper there. That's got the ball. Plays it into the centre. Didn't make it through, and Gated just having to try and win the ball back. Goes out for a throw.
You're right about the Gated high line, but it wasn't a straight line, and that's why the run was able to stay on side.
Well, you just feel Southend's a little bit more composed, a little bit more comfortable on the ball at the moment. Scott Morris launches the ball into the centre. It's right in a dangerous place. Needs to be cleared by Gateshead as Warman's ball wasn't cleared that well. It's back into the centre. Headed clear. In comes another shot. Bodies on the line to block it. And at the moment, Gateshead do intercept and can poke it forward for Jovan Malcolm, who gets the ball under control but needs support. Hannant sees the run, tries to play it over the top. Is it going to bounce out? It's bounced on the line, and the referee says it went out. The linesman had a better view than us. It looked like it stayed in, but
I think it's curled out, to be fair. Great block. I think it was Akinola.
Yeah, Akinola. Yeah.
You're right. It is harder to identify without his dreadlock.
Scott Morris with the long throw, and there's going to be a foul. There was a push down, and the players went down, but the referee says no. Ball put over the top and seen out by Harry Taylor. Throw taken. Oh, and, it's a bit of a waste. Unforced error. 20 minutes gone.
Big fan of the DAZN cameraman there, panicking in case his expensive camera got hit. There was a lot of panic in that group.
Well, Ryan Bartley plays it back to Shelby, who's under pressure. Akinola turns and
that's good.
Give it to Bartley. Better. Bartley can bring the ball forward. Now he's got space to run into. Drives with the ball, pokes it out to Humbles. Humbles has to cut in.
Should have given it back there.
He turns, and now ball comes into the centre. was it Harry Taylor couldn't get to it, but Scott
Oh,
Morris
well
was poor from Scott Morris, was robbed of the ball. Booty on the edge of the area. It's just ran away from him, but it'll be a throw to Gateshead.
Yeah, that's better. Good from Ben Warman there. Just wouldn't let the Southend wing back settle on the ball.
Hannon to a lovely touch, trying to get past his man, and one of the Southend subs took the ball in the back of the head there. He's all right though. As Booty has a chance to take a throw on this left-hand side. Newton shows for him to Booty. Booty tries to get past too many men, and the ball will go out for a goal kick.
There's just not a lot of movement from Gateshead when players are getting in.
It just feels like they're not overcommitting from midfield.
Yeah,
at the moment.
At the moment, yeah, just maybe trying to see out what has been a challenging start of the game.
Well, Nick Hayes picks his spot.
Look, the thing is, at some point they're going to have to go for it.
Yeah,
like it or not. So.
But at the moment, Southend are doing what they're doing in a composed manner. They haven't really been tested too much. They'll be happy with how the first 20 minutes have developed. As ball under control by Hannant. Hannant plays it down the line. It's going to be headed back up though. Over the top there. Paya force, and can he bring the ball back across? And well, had to be put behind by Grayson.
They're just switching off again. We mentioned concentration levels before the game, and there are little indications that they're not fully at it from a concentration point of view, and that's another example of it.
Well, yet another corner for the visitors.
And we know they're dangerous from corners. You know, you look, Ben Goodliff coming forward there, big centre back.
Well, they're seeming to go a little bit more direct with it here. They haven't got any men outside of the box, really. And I see this one come in from Coker. And it goes. It's a free header, and he couldn't direct it. He was already coming down as he headed it. And I think that was Scott Morris, wasn't it?
I think there might have been a decision to make there for the referee if that had gone in, because it looked like two hands in the back of, was it Kenton Richardson, I think?
Yeah. Well, Joe Grayson receives the ball, gives it back to Shelby. Shelby gives it to Akinola, who, nice footwork, turns his man, lays it off to Warman. Warman, the referee. Referee want to get involved today. Martin Woods, Football League referee as well.
Doesn't always mean
Yeah.
can be better.
Quickly taken as Newton lays it off. The ball just skims away from Booty there. But now Gateshead can keep it going as Newton has Hannon on this left hand.
What is that?
Tried to play through the centre for Chauvin Malcolm, but it's a goal kick. Good work from Hopper off the ball though to close down.
That's really poor, by the way.
Yeah,
really poor from Tyrell Newton. It's not a difficult pass he's trying to play.
Yeah, well, Kendall just doing his laces up there. Richardson plays it in the centre. Newton in the acres of space has to turn, lays it off to Booty. Booty can carry it forward a few yards. He gets towards the halfway line, still going. Needs someone to pick out, and he does. Goes for Warman through the centre. Taylor's header falls to Javon Malcolm and just couldn't get over the top of it. And he absolutely skies that one over the crossbar.
It's funny with Javon Malcolm, because he's just as likely to put that in the top corner as he's to put it in the stand. But
there's no in between, is there?
No, well, he's leaning back a little bit. I mean, it would have been a ridiculous shot if he got it on target, but he's just leaned back a little bit too much.
Well, Hayes lines up to take his goal kick. Still 0-0 here if you're one of our audio listeners. 25 minutes gone at Gateshead International Stadium. The curtain will come down properly for one of these teams here this afternoon. At the moment, as it stands, it would be Gateshead season that ends. As Scott Morris looks to put a delivery in. It's a dangerous curling one, and Kenton Richardson had to put that behind, because I think if he had missed that one, there was someone coming behind him.
Well, I'm just watching Scott Morris there, and he's just looking at his teammates with his hands out, just asking who's making a run. Because I think that's a great ball in the box. It's in a good area for someone to attack, and just a little bit on the heels.
Well, he had the keeper guessing, didn't it? He didn't want to get off his line for that. Ollie Coker going to take this one. In it comes. It's another dangerous one towards the back post. Free header back across. Shelby flicks it out. Yeah, good goalkeeping. But once again, the decision making from Southend has been fantastic, because he headed that ball back into the mixer, didn't he?
The delivery has been as well.
Humbles can bring the ball forward, right hand side.
Option.
Just slows it down. Newton makes the run. Ball played over the top. Just wasn't the greatest ball, and that'll go all the way through to Nick Hayes.
Just a lack of quality in final deliveries from Gateshead so far. It's a great run, to be fair to Tyrell Newton, but the ball's just poor.
Yeah, give Ben Goodlife all the time in the world just to see that back to his goalkeeper. Oh, there's a tussle off the ball. Ball is going to be stays in. Actually, I thought Kenton Richardson was going to put that into safety's way, but all the way up towards Jovan Malcolm. Ben Warman chases Goodlife down and all the way back to Hayes, and Hayes, a fantastic kick. All the way up there as Bartley wins the header. Akinola brings the ball down. He needs support though if he gets this under control. Great stuff from Akinola. Very calm and composed when he gets on the ball, and Gateshead can build from the back again. Finds space for himself, Akinola, when he gets the ball. He knows the right time to stop. But can he do it higher up the pitch? Bartley. Back to Richardson. Grayson shows for him on this left-hand side, who he uses. It's a bit more movement at the moment as Warman dropped deep to get involved, but Gateshead not gaining many yards up the pitch. As the ball goes back to Bartley. Richardson.
Southend just sitting in, but they can do that, can't they? 11 man behind the ball.
Gateshead need to find a way to unlock what's in front of them as Hannant plays the ball through, looking for the run of Malcolm. Is asking a little bit much of him, but the tussle on the ball there's Hopper and Grayson having a good old battle. As Warman dispossessed by Scott Morris, and Scott Morris goes down. Free kick. Well, Scott Morris has the free kick, but he was wanting a card. As Warman gets a talking to from Martin Woods.
Gator just needed to be a little bit more patient there. The ball went forward a little bit too quickly. Just retain possession.
Yeah, another opportunity to get another good delivery into the box. Ollie Coker, sorry. Big men are asking for it at the back. If it's anything like the delivery we've seen before, this is going to be right in the danger zone. And that one goes right across, headed clear by Gateshead though. They need to push out.
They need to get out quickly. There's no pressure.
Hussein has the ball. Plays it forward. Hits it off a Gateshead player, and Gateshead can latch onto this one. Akinola plays it inside to Newton. Newton needed shirts around him, but he's still got the ball. Turns back to Bartley on the halfway line. Gateshead fans getting a little bit restless here, or restless, should I say. I want to see a little bit more probing from Gateshead, but they're keeping the ball. Kent Richardson looks to play it over the top for Humbles. Humbles is going to bring it down.
Oh, touch.
Needs support though. Takes down to, well, does take down. Oh, cuts back. Bartley puts the cross in. It's very high and deep. It's asking a lot of Jovan Malcolm, but Hannant can keep it in. Malcolm, left-hand side of the box. Gives it to Grayson. Booty. Malcolm on the edge of the box, has it at his feet, just trying to get it back to Booty, and he does so. There's Warman. Can he pull the trigger and get it across? He's done well to get it into the middle. There was nobody there. And a throw into Gateshead.
It's something. Something to build on.
Richardson gives it to Bartley. Every player bar Shelby inside the Southend half. Gateshead just passing it around as Bartley gives it to Richardson just in the centre circle, just on the halfway line. Gives it back to Bartley. Bartley has Akinola, who he uses back to Bartley. Gateshead need movement as Kent Richardson drives forward with the ball, lays it to Newton. And Newton appeals for handball, not given, and Gateshead trying to disrupt. And I think it was Akinola brings down Ollie Coker there.
My initial thought was a handball, but referee's a lot closer than that, I should say.
My view was blocked. I didn't see it, so
You get it just in forward areas, just looking a little bit hesitant and a little bit. There's not the imagination, I don't think. There's not the movement at the moment. It's just not quite clicking in that final third.
Or the belief.
Yeah, I think belief is probably a big thing in this.
Here's dangerous ball at the edge of the box. It's headed into the centre. Gateshead hooked it clear for Richardson. It's going to be a throw on this right-hand side, about 5 yards from the corner flag, and Luke Hannon is limping. That's something
he's just come down on it.
Yeah, he's.
You really don't want to lose Luke Hannon because he's so essential to this side. We're talking, weren't we, before the game, but absolutely my player of the season by a long way at Gateshead.
Well, he's in some discomfort at the moment.
Switched off.
Throw has been taken. Scott Morris got the ball. Lovely little flick inside to Coker. Coker trickery down to the dead ball line. Pulls it back across. There's the header. All saved. Can it be cleared though by Gateshead? They need to clear their lines and they can now.
Brilliant save.
Reaction save from Shelby as Malcolm
foul.
Keeps the ball. Can Newton keep the ball in? He can. Our view was obscured by the dugout. It was close, that one.
Unbelievable save from George Shelby. We know what quality he's got as a goalkeeper, and it's a great header. He's done everything right, but put it in the back of the net there.
Yet again, the delivery was sublime as well from the visitors. Now, Bridge on the far side. It's been quiet the last few minutes.
Well, that was a warning sign for Gateshead. They need to wake up a little bit here.
Ball now, Bridge down towards the dead ball line, cuts back on himself and has options to lay it off, and Gateshead left with a man on the ground, hasn't been cleared fully yet as Gateshead intercept and disrupt as Humbles is under pressure from Bridge. Does need an outlet. Clears the ball up the pitch. Falls to Hussein. His ball wasn't the greatest, and Akinola can get that under control and give it back to Shelby. Shelby gives it to Grayson. And Gateshead now need to get men moving forward as lovely little knock from Malcolm to Taylor does well. Hannon had played the ball through, but Taylor read it well. Grayson nods the ball forward. Scott Morris can bring the ball down and nod it forward for Kendall. Grayson just having to wrestle and get the ball away as Warman gives it back to Kent Richardson. Very high line from the visitors at the moment there.
Oh, well done.
On the attack, but
now can you play it?
Malcolm plays the ball at the top, looking for Humbles. He's up in a foot race with Bridge and does very well to get there. Holds it up. Has one thing on his mind to bring the ball forward. Just has to turn round. Great defensive play from Coker there.
Good recovery, wasn't it? Really good recovery from Southend.
Gateshead. Every player inside the Southend half now. Booty. Grayson's in space on this left-hand side, who he uses. Ball going towards Malcolm in the penalty area, but headed clear only as far as Richardson, who gets it back to Joe Grayson. And yet again, that forward line just pushes out really quick from the visitors. Great shape from Southend. Now, Shelby pings the ball up looking for Humbles. Ralph will get there and head it forward. It's going to fall to Humbles on the far side. Can he keep it in? He's under pressure, does well. Plays it inside to Akinola. We're just not seeing Gateshead move the ball as fast in the final third as what Southend do.
100%, yeah, absolutely agree with that.
Warman gives the ball back to Grayson on the halfway line. In the centre circle, Kent Richardson across to Bartley. Bartley puts it to Humbles on this right-hand side. Well, Grayson. Booty in the centre, gives it to Newton. Newton tries to thread it to Malcolm, does so. Malcolm tries to turn. There's a handball there from Malcolm. Don't know how much he knew about it, but the free kick was a definite free kick.
He's got to play that ball to Tim Akinola there.
Yeah.
Once he's cut inside, Akinola is literally edge of the box on his own.
Stand break, and here gives me a chance to say, please, time away stand. Use both chemical services or food and drink, please, at half time. So, Kevin.
Well, for our audio listeners, still 0-0, and we're into the 36th minute, about to go into the 37th, and game opening up a little bit, but you'd still see Southend edging it as it is.
It's a bit cagey, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it was Grayson pulled down a player by his neck there. Referee didn't see it. And Gateshead have the ball, flick forward as free kick given on Newton. But I think Grayson can count himself a little bit lucky there.
Very much. Very much.
As Hopper tries to tell the referee about that as well. Bartley gives it to Richardson. Grayson. Richardson tries to thread the ball towards Hannant. It's going to bounce and Hannant's going to get there. Can he pick out a teammate? Warman's there to help him. Back to Grayson. Grayson gets it to Newton on the edge of the area, and Warman out to Hannant. Left-hand side up against Scott Morris. Cuts in with it. Puts a cross in there towards the back post and headed away, but Humbles tries to chase it down. But there was Coker on the far side, and Humbles judged to have fouled him. Free kick to Southend.
Southend just doing a bit of a professional job on Gateshead here, just keeping them at bay, staying disciplined, staying organised in defensive areas, and looking threatening on the break. It's been a really impressive performance so far.
Haven't put a foot wrong, have they?
No, not at all. Not at all. And Gateshead have really, at some point, not yet, but at some point, and certainly in the second half, it stays this way. Have got to start taking risks, and you just fear, from a Gateshead point of view, that Southend will take full advantage of that.
Yeah. Well, Booty has won the ball. Malcolm gives the ball to Akinola. Akinola just marshals the ball to Warman. Warman looks up. Here's Hannant on the left-hand side as the Gateshead fans get behind their team, as Hannant just couldn't get past Scott Morris.
And brilliantly there, Scott Morris just hasn't committed at all.
And puts the ball out of danger's way for a throw.
Stayed on his feet and made Luke Hannant make a decision that never really came in the end.
Throwing quickly taken as Booty. Ball didn't find its target, and Kendall tries to hold it up. Ball goes out of play. Tell you what, I must admit, I didn't think that went out there, Mark.
No, I did. Yeah, definitely.
Benefit of the doubt for the linesman then.
He's got better view than us, put that way.
He has. Bartley gives the ball back to Richardson in the centre circle. Grayson has a little bit of space here to bring the ball forward. Hannant. Warman has made a run, but ball comes through and the offside flag will go up. Yeah, he's good. 3-4 yards off there. Jovan Malcolm.
Talk about discipline, and that back line there from Southend, the way they sprung that offside trap was excellent. So could see it happening as it was happening, just one call from the back and they stepped up, and as you say, Jovan Malcolm 2 or 3 yards off in the end.
Well, here's the free kick right on the edge of his box. It's going to go towards this right-hand side of the pitch. That's where all the players have congregated. And the ball goes straight out of play. Throw into to Gateshead. 40 minutes gone. And Shelby gets the ball, brings it forward out of his box, goes along with it, looking for Humbles. Can Humbles keep that one in? It's beaten to the ball by Ralph. And it's a throw in on the far side.
That was a horrendous throw into Regan Booty, by the way.
Yeah.
Just control that with your hip.
Well, around about now would be a great time for either side to test the goalkeeper. Might have a big say on the game if there was a goal before half time. Regan Booty turns, brings the ball forward, lays it off to Grayson.
You can see there, Regan Booty's trying to get the ball out of his feet to play a ball over the top and behind, but the pitch has just killed him.
Well, the work rate from Kendall still very high. Oh, Lacey left there. Ball for just wouldn't sit up for Tyrell Newton. Good header by Grayson. Ralph can get the ball under control. Newton tries to win it, and well, the ball goes straight to Humbles, and Gateshead now can try and get this ball moving forward.
So predictable.
It's a good tackle.
It was so predictable that.
Yeah. Didn't have enough on it to flick, did it?
No, it was really poor in the end because Gateshead had a little bit of a half chance there to break, but they just, the execution of the little flick from Javan Malcolm, one, you could see it coming a mile off, and two, just wasn't good enough.
Ball over the top looking for Hannant. He's onside if he gets to it. Now can he get the ball in the box? Needs a delivery. Oh, goes over the head of Newton. And now Bridge can attack on the left-hand side for Southend. He's driving over the halfway line. There's an off-the-ball incident happened there between Kent Richardson and Hopper, who's lying on the ground at the moment. Referee hasn't pulled it back. Gateshead still want to play. The ball has been played out there as Tom Hopper went down. They were running together. And, well, Southend players asking the questions.
During this unfortunate broken break, I remind you once again, in the time we're stand, that both concourses are open for food and drink.
Well, the fourth official's in communication with the referee there.
Also,
it's obviously coming together off the ball.
The season presentation will take place 1/2 hour after the final whistle is when it's open. The last few tickets are available online open now. Thank you. And since we've got the
well, we are just waiting for this throw-in to be taken on the far side. As we are just starting to see the sun poke through the clouds here at the International Stadium. I think we're going to see a little bit of sportsmanship here. The ball's going to be thrown back to Southend on the far side. And we're back underway. Ralph has the ball. Pigs the ball over the top, looking for the run of Hopper. Hopper goes out for a goal kick.
Should we just say good dummy from Johnson there? Just from Bartley, sorry.
Yeah.
Probably a bit kind.
Let off the hook would be another another way to describe it. I'd imagine we might have a minute or two of time added on here. Possibly not. Gator just passing it around the back at the moment. The ball over the top. Didn't find its target. Headed forward by Taylor. And can Newton latch onto that? They're just not finding the space and time, Gated, to get onto these balls as Kendall crosses a ball into the box. It wasn't bad in the end, but Humbles can get in front of his man and bring it down
done
well.
Brilliantly.
Back to Shelby. Shelby kicks out Akinola. Oh, just runs into his man.
Not in there.
And Southend can try and build here. Oh, Gated nearly latch onto the ball, but Bridge does well to guard it and play it back. And at the moment, it's just been a little bit scrappy.
That's better. There's hadn't been enough of that from Gateshead first half, where there's a real press. We're going to find out what we've got injury time coming up. 2 maybe?
Quite possibly. He's trying to figure out how to use the board. But we have 30 seconds left of normal time. Throw taken on the far side. Gator trying to intercept, and Warman does manage to get the ball forward as Malcolm brings it down. Can he thread it through? Gets past one man, holds it up, didn't have the, and it comes off Hannant and out for a throw to the visitors. And well, Gateshead just unable to get the ball from underneath their feet when they're on the attack.
We're not going to find out, are we?
1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute to be added on. The fourth official couldn't work the board. Well, Hannant heads the ball forward from the throw, and out it goes for another one. And 20 seconds into that, 1 minute added on.
There'll be 1 minute additional time. 1 minute.
Ball played forward, and Southend managed to keep it. Akinola with a good tackle. Needs to be careful. Tries to thread it through.
I think he's done everything right there.
Yeah. And the ball wouldn't sit nicely there for Bartley as he tried to head it. It just looped over him, didn't it? But Booty turns, sees the run on the far side. I think he's asking a little bit too much of Humbles there, as Ralph can play it off. Humbles, it hasn't went out though. It stayed in. Bartley. Booty was screaming for it in the centre. And there is the half-time whistle. It is 0-0 here at Gateshead International Stadium on the final day of the regular season. Of course, it's a big one for the playoffs. Either side, if they get a win, well, they just need a draw Southend, but Gateshead definitely need a win. And it's all to play for in the second half. But I think in the second half, it's going to have to be nothing ventured, nothing gained from Gateshead in the attacking department.
Well, from a Gateshead point of view, the positive is that they're still level after a really shaky start.
Today's attendance is a total of 4,108.
You look at Southend; they've been the better side, I'd say, for large parts of that game. But the problem is when Gateshead are getting into good positions, there's just not that. You mentioned the word belief, and I think that was bang on. I think, as I said earlier, Southend have been excellent in terms of the discipline, their organisation. They've done a really professional job in that first 45 minutes. And Gateshead maybe now just do have to maybe put them under a little bit more pressure, take a few more risks, and get the goal that they need.
Well, let's say it is all to play for in the second half. We're just going to go and have our cup of tea and toilet breaks. We'll be back with you in about 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Once again, thank you for your company, whether it's on DAZN on National League TV or if you're on our audio stream on YouTube. We thank you very much for your company. If you'd like to hit like and subscribe, it really would help us. And we'll see you in about 10 minutes.
Terms and catch me Gerald Fitness in Gerald Musical Theatre's production of School of Rock.
Well, hello there and welcome back for our second half coverage here at Gateshead International Stadium. It is Gateshead 0, Southend 0. I can go through the half-time scores here in the National League. Not that it really makes much difference for many people. Of course, Wealdstone would disagree with that. It is Aldershot 1. Sorry, I missed out the top one. AFC Fylde 0, Barnet 2, Aldershot 1, Yeovil 0. It's also I'll get through here. Altrincham 0, Tamworth 1, Braintree 1, Rochdale 0. York are winning 2-0 away to Eastleigh. It's 0-0 here, of course. Hartlepool are winning 1-0 at home to Forest Green. And I'll let you know who the goal scorer was there. In case it's from a... I tried to do that and it didn't come up. Apologies for that. Maidenhead 1, Boston United 0, Oldham 1, Ebbsfleet United 0. It's Solihull Moors 0, Dagenham 1, Sutton United 0, Woking 1, and Wealdstone 3, FC Halifax 0. And at the bottom of the table, that will, as things stand, relegate Wealdstone. They need Dagenham to concede for them to get anything out of this afternoon and stay in the league. So they'll be hoping for a Solihull Moors goal. Of course, the connotations here is Gateshead need to win to get into the playoffs, and the visitors only have to draw. So what will happen here in the second half, you'll get it all of us here on the Heed Army podcast and, of course, on National League TV with the Zone. And as I say, we've said it before and we'll say it a few more times. The away support today has been nothing short of phenomenal from Southend United. The beach balls are still being battered about on the far side, of course. They're all happy on that end of the ground. There's nothing to worry about at this moment in time, but that could change. And is there going to be a hero? Is there going to be a villain in this game? Or will it just peter out into a draw? We'll find out all of that here with us on the Heed Army podcast. If you're one of our audio listeners, would you please do send us a like and subscribe. The attendance is 4,100 and something. We'll get that confirmed later on, but over 2,000 in the home end, which is a fantastic attendance. Of course, big game. Everyone excited about what's going to happen here today. Can Gateshead make it into the playoffs for a second season in a row? But this time they can compete in them if they are to get there. But Southend as well, they're looking to get back towards the Football League after some torrid years under some awful ownership, and Gateshead fans will be able to sympathise with that after what happened to us 5-6 seasons ago. But at this moment in time, it's 0-0, and Gateshead still have a chance to get themselves into the playoffs. They just need a goal and hold on for the win. But otherwise, it will be Southend that go into the playoff picture here. Wow. As I say, we are waiting for the players to come back out for the second half here at Gateshead International Stadium. We'll let you know if there is any changes at half-time. The Gateshead subs are going through a bit of a kickabout, as are the Southend ones. Doesn't look like anyone's stripped and ready to come on, but hopefully we'll see a little bit more action from Gateshead in the second half. But from a Southend persuasion, they'll be very happy with the way they're going about their business here this afternoon. Also as well, if you're watching at Roots Hall, if you'd like to send us a picture at Heed_Army, send us a picture of the room. It'd be lovely to know who we're talking to. Hopefully you're enjoying the commentary service so far. And I'm joined back now again by Mark Carruthers, Northeast journalist and author, and everything else in between. Mark, we've had a little bit of time to assess this. I think everyone's in complete agreement from a Gator perspective that, you know, after about 5-10 minutes, they've got to start with that kitchen sink unchained and get ready to run it.
Well, I think you've got one side in control of the destiny. They know what they need. In terms of Southend, they know what they've got to do to get it.
Yeah.
And Gateshead are sort of weirdly caught in sort of halfway house at the moment, where trying not to concede, but at the same time haven't quite done enough to score. So, you know, it goes without saying that it's a it's a huge second half for Gateshead.
I think what we need to see is, one of the midfield, the diamond as it is, the four with either Akinola, Warman, or Newton, to make a little bit more of a probing runs into the box and give that extra option, because there hasn't been too much adventuring forward from the midfield of Gateshead.
I just think at some point in the second half, you're going to have to see one of those number 10s taken off, and either Terrell Sellers-Fleming or Frank Newell or both coming on, just to give Gateshead a bit more of a threat up front, and maybe just a bit more poise from that number 10 position. Because I think if it happens, you're probably looking at Javon Malcolm dropping into the 10, which he's done really effectively at times this season. But you're right. At some point in the second half, Gateshead have got to go for it. They can't go straight away because you don't want to get caught out, but they have to go for it. Simple as that.
Well, we're out now already. We're moments away from kickoff here in the second half. It's currently 0-0. If you are just joining us, Gateshead shooting towards the Felon end in their white and black strips. The visitors all in red for our audio listeners, and Hayes in goal in his grey strip. And as I say, I was just saying before Mark joined me back on the microphone, the beach balls are still flying about on the far side. The balloons, I'll say it again, the best away crowd that we've had this season, and definitely the loudest.
Is the other inflatable still being thrown
I
in?
haven't seen the other inflatable, but I'm sure other people can guess what it is.
I just think Southend have looked like a proper professional outfit today. I know they are, obviously, but they've put a professional
they've went
performance
about
in.
their business very well so far, haven't they? As Kent Richardson pings the ball up towards Jovan Malcolm, the ball comes off Ralph for a throw, quickly taken. Booty gets the ball to Bartley to Humbles. Booty just turns, gives the ball back to Richardson on the halfway line, who sees space and runs into it, threads it over to Grayson. Grayson has eyes to get the ball moving forward. Newton to Booty. Booty has the overlap, gets it to Bartley, now out to Humbles. Humbles needs to get a delivery on right-hand side of the box, twisting and turning. Still turns his man. Now he gets the cross in. It's easy for the defence, but it's been headed away.
That's better, much better.
And it's a corner to Gateshead. Good start.
I mentioned before, Humbles, he's not a right wing back, but he's done all right in that role. And I think we know what he can do in the final third, and it's a lovely little twist and turn, and a good little ball in the box. Just needs someone to attack it.
Well, Regan Booty places the ball down. Third time lucky for the ball to stay still. In comes the delivery towards, it's a good one, and all goes right through.
It's a great ball in. Someone's got a gamble there.
I think Bartlett just got there a little bit too soon, didn't he, as the ball come in? He was already past the destination.
I'm not really sure Regan Booty can do too much more with that, Just drifted away from everyone, but I think someone coming in back post there. If they time it right, they've got a free header.
Well, Nick Hayes with his goal kick. And his kicking has been exemplary this afternoon. Ball falls in midfield as Newton was waiting for the ball to come to him, but does well to get the ball to Regan Booty. Hannant gets the ball to Warman. Warman needs to pass that ball forward.
He's offside. Why pass it? You can see he's offside.
Yeah, he took himself out of the game, didn't he?
But Ben Warman's just got to have a look there and assess the situation and just hold it. Just hold on the ball. But I don't know why he's trying to get him in there, but it was so obvious he was offside.
Well, apparently, Frankie Francis is watching in Sydney, Australia. He goes, had to turn your commentary off as you're 2 minutes ahead on DAZN.
That's just because Dave talks really quickly.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not in control of the. That's been kept in and a shot off.
Switched off. We spoke about it.
Switch off, yeah.
We spoke about the concentration levels, and Gateshead have massively switched off there.
A ball up here, look for Tyrell Newton. The ball's not the greatest as Ralph can nod that down, and Good Life can see it back to Hayes. But all it takes is a second to switch off, and you give a team half a chance.
Probably going to see a little bit more of what we've just witnessed there from Southend, from Nick Hayes, just taking his time, just easing back the edge of his own box.
Well, ball nodded forward. It's been out of play on the far side. There was complaints from Hayes from about Malcolm blocking him there, but he wasn't stood in the box, and he kicked it towards him. I think that's probably more under sportsmanship, isn't it, than because it wasn't a free kick. As Malcolm tries to nod the ball on, falls to Southend and they pump the ball up, and Kendall tries to backheel it and run onto it, but Shelby can pump the ball forward. Ralph puts it back up there, and Bartley can put it forward towards Malcolm. Good Life can clear it away, and it just went a little bit direct from both sides at the moment as Akinola nods it back. Warman.
Right. Ben Warman's won that ball, and you've got two players stood there giving him absolutely nothing. He's looking for a ball forward. Tyrell Newton, Joanne Malcolm have got to give an option there.
And a poor ball across the far side goes out for a throw. And while we spoke about it at half time, Mark, and when do you roll the dice? We've seen in recent games where Gateshead have rolled the dice a little bit later in the games and it hasn't materialised into any goals. Do you push forward a little bit now and try and change it early on?
Yeah, I think probably not yet. But that's not great.
Booty just caught by Hopper there.
But that time will come, and it'll come within the next 20 minutes, I think. Probably when you've got 20, 25 minutes left, Gateshead will have to go for it.
Crossfield ball looking for Humbles. Bridge is there though. Bridge nods it. It's going to fall for Humbles to get it under control, and he does. Bartley gives it to Booty. Back to Bartley. Bartley looks for the run of Akinola, but it was marked and cleared, and the ball over the top now is Shelby quickly out of his area. Calmly plays it to Regan Booty. Now Bartley. Newton. Oh, just don't know if that was the pitch that had anything to play with that, or he mistimed it, but just got away from on the ball, and Southend can clear. Kent Richardson wins the header. Booty brings it down, but
great 1-2.
Got away with 1-2 touch there with Papaya Forson. Ball trying to go long for Malcolm. Ball drops, but Good Life's there to intercept, and the ball just skips under the feet of Grayson, but he can get it back to Shelby.
Joanne Malcolm just got to get his body in front of the defender there.
Well, we've got David listening in from Lanzarote, Southend fan.
Be a lot warmer where you are, mate.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad day. That's a great ball.
Lovely ball over for Humbles if he can bring it down. Oh, lovely touch. Brings it down. He needs support though. Drives down towards the 10 ball line. Stops. Still up against it. Oh, lovely little flick to take it inside, but just did a little bit too much. And now Southend are on the break here as Kendall drives forward with it. He does have Hopper on the far side. That's the only target he's got. He's having to hold it up. Gateshead are getting back. But
I've done well there, Gateshead, to be fair. Humbles, just that decision making had to be better there.
It's a throw in, level with the corner of the box on the left hand side for the visitors. Bridge. Takes the throw, gets the ball back. Going to run at Humbles here and does so. Crosses the ball in towards the back post. Manages to head it away. Papaya Forson gets it under control and plays it back to Taylor. Taylor looks to keep the ball moving. Back across to Papaya Forson. Papaya Forson tries to play it down for Scott Morris. And Gateshead just need to have a little bit more of an outlet there. And Malcolm, is he injured? Just don't know if he tweaked something there, but the visitors on the attack through Bridge, left hand side, up against Humbles. Humbles does manage to get contact with the ball, but Bridge gets it back under control. Plays it inside. Lovely stuff from Southend. Can he get the ball in? Booty with some good covering play. He had to get there. As his ball forward up towards Jovan Malcolm. Ball comes away, and now it's going to be Kendall, edge of the area. He's trying to get room to shoot, poked away by Kent Richardson, and now Southend camped out on the edge of the area.
That's really poor from Jovan Malcolm there. Really poor. Twice he's got a chance to get Gateshead out, and he hasn't done enough.
Well, Southend now. Hopper just couldn't get past Bartley there. He used his body well.
Been quietly effective, Bartley, today. Just done his job.
Warman gives the ball to Grayson. Richardson. Back to Grayson. As I'm going to bring the ball forward now. Hannon, left-hand side. Oh, his ball just didn't get through, but it comes back to him. Was he fouled there? Referee says no, play on. Comes across to Bartley. Bartley now brings the ball forward. Humbles is in space on the right-hand side. Does have the ball now. Can he get the delivery in? He can, and it's poked up in the air. It hasn't went out yet. Bounces. A handball from Bridge, but it falls to Humbles. Humbles cuts inside. Tries to go for the shot. And it's starting to liven up a little bit here now. Booty plays the ball over to Grayson. It would have been very harsh to give that handball on Bridge. It wasn't
a handball, no chance.
Ball over the top. As Malcolm chases down Taylor. And Taylor comes away with the ball.
Yeah, that's not good enough, Ben
Carl Magnay is not happy with that.
And you know what? We know what sort of player Carl Magnay was. And he wouldn't have shaped out that challenge. But I'll tell you what, Ben Morman just has. And that's why he's so angry.
Well, Gateshead in possession. Bartley, ball coming in a million miles an hour. He does very well to get it back to Richardson, who's under pressure. Gets it to Grayson. Booty in the centre. Now they can bring the ball forward.
Right, where's the options?
Akinola brings the ball forward. Humbles out on this right-hand side. Humbles cuts in with it, drives. He's got space. Lays it back to Bartley. There needs to be movement in the box. There needs to be options.
Needs to be some movement.
The ball comes back to Kenton Richardson. Bartley. Jovan Malcolm's trying to find space, but as he moves left to right, there's a defender on either side of him.
And really poor again.
As Newton's ball, little flicks on the edge of the area, not coming off. A lovely turn from Kendall. He has a Pia Folsom on the right-hand side. He has Hopper through the centre. He's still driving with it himself. Holds the ball up, plays it out. That's poor from as Gateshead urge the players forward from the Tyne and Weir stand as Hannon lays it off to Warman. Warman carries the ball, gives it to Newton. Newton out to Hannon on the left-hand side. There needs to be targets in there. There isn't many. Hannon goes down on the far side, and it's a goal kick. And Gateshead at the moment, as I say, if he had got past his man there, Hannon, there wasn't much to aim for.
No, just one in the box. And you know, we spoke about the two number 10s, didn't we? And they're both just sort of hanging around on the edge of the box and not really committing, not really supporting and trying to threaten Southend. But again, I'll say it, I think Southend have managed the game very well. You know, Gateshead are looking more positive second half, but then they're not really threatening as such.
Well, goal kick from Hayes. Once again, another fantastic kick. There's a ball out to a Pia Forson, drives into the box, goes down. Oh, and well, ball had to be put out by Humbles on the far side, but
there's the warning. And this is what Gateshead are going to have to put up with more over the next 35 minutes, sorry.
Well, there is one Gateshead player warming up at the moment. That's Max Sheaf.
Would you look at a striker coming on this early, maybe a Frank Newell or a Sellers Fleming, just to try and disrupt that back line?
I think so. I think
largely their own way.
I think Jovan Malcolm, as much as he tries, has been marked really well in this game. For another corner from the visitors on the far side. In it comes. It's into a dangerous position. Headed back across goal. Cleared away from Gateshead. Not fully yet, though. Gateshead player down in the box. It's still playing. The ball comes back in on the far side and goes behind for another corner.
All sorts going on in that area, isn't there? All sorts.
Well, Southend, they're not just here to hold out. Yeah, another corner coming in from Coker on the far side.
It's like a Scott Morris, just funny movement there, being marked by Luke Hannon.
In it comes. It's a close one, headed clear. It's got to be cleared though by Gateshead and played on the far side. And there's going to be another one, and that goes out for a goal kick. Oh well. Yeah. It did look like the referee was pointing for a free kick there, didn't it?
Very interesting. Just looking at the Southend bench.
Yeah,
they're all in the fourth official's face now.
It did look like there was two challenges in there that would have been a free kick.
Well, yeah, but
from our position, we couldn't tell. There's a free kick given there on Bridge.
Nakanola. So we're talking about that's a booking, by the way.
Well, starting to get a little bit lively on the pitch now.
So the urgency there from Tim McAnola is what Gateshead need to show more of, and more players need to show it.
Well, Humbles is in acres of space on this far side. Ralph comes over though to mark it, and the ball has to be picked up by a Gateshead player, and it hasn't been. Then Bartley comes over, and that's going to be a yellow card for Kenton Richardson. Right, that's what you call taking one for the team there.
Yeah, very much so.
Kendall still down on his knees. Well, we've got just over 30 minutes remaining here. Yet another opportunity for Coker to put another delivery into the box. Bridge is hugging this left-hand touchline here. I think it will go into the...
Charlie Kendall could be the ball if Tim McAnola isn't switched on.
Well, there's the ball, goes across to the far side. Good delivery, it falls as well. There's a shot away, great save from Shelby, and the ball hasn't went out to play yet. And there's Coker. Oh, Gateshead trying to throw men at the ball on the line, and it's still not away from dangerous way. Now it's headed away, and well, Bartley.
What a header that is
away.
from Bartley! Unbelievable header.
Scott Morris went for it as well. They've both collided heads. The ball was there to be won. That's a brave header from Bartley and Gus Scott Morris as well. They both went in for it.
I think Bartley's all right, you know. He's still down, but he's looking around.
Yeah. Well, they will do the concussion checks and things like that as Scott Morris is lying face down at the moment. He's getting some water on the back of the neck.
Scott Morris is taking it full on, hasn't he?
Yeah. And he's getting the towel treatment. Of course, the Gateshead medical staff going through the protocol of checking for concussion.
Straight away, you could tell it was a really nasty collision. I thought both players were all right. Scott Morris is up now.
Yeah. Definitely had his bell rung somewhat there. You can see body language. He's sucking that one up, isn't he? And Gateshead are going through the concussion check on Bartley there.
They do have a defender on the bench in Brandon Horton.
Well, there is more Gateshead players warming up down on the touchline. Colquitt, Newell,
Jamie Bramwell as well, and you go at the back.
Well, the most important thing is both players back up on their feet, and both have to make way until the referee says they can come back on. Fourth official just checking with Bartley to see if he's all right. There we go. We're back underway. The referee wants play to continue before he allows the players on the pitch.
Got to stay off, haven't you, for a certain amount of time.
There's Kent Richardson brings the ball forward,
Good
plays
ball.
it across to Grayson. Both teams temporarily down to 10 men. As Grayson gets the ball to Booty. Both players are allowed back on now.
Give a good time for Gateshead.
And as Richardson brings the ball forward, gives it to Bartley, back on the pitch, puts a cross, dangerous ball in.
It's not. He didn't need to cross it.
It didn't curl quick enough. I thought it was going to go.
He just didn't need to cross it. You got one man in there against three. There's no point putting the ball in like that.
Well, initially I thought he had got enough whip on it to come back towards the other players, but keepers all day. And there's Hopper and Grayson renewing their battle.
Gonna have another 2 or 3 minutes on at the end. You would think that stoppage.
Bartley brings the ball forward, just stops before the halfway line, plays it back to Richardson. Richardson looking for movement, plays it across to Grayson, who pings the ball up towards Newton. Tried to get it towards Malcolm. There's Kent Richardson battling for the ball. It falls to Gateshead. As Carl Magnay screaming for one of his players to get out on this right-hand side to give some weight for no one moving. Bartley gets it to Akinola. Akinola tries to play it inside.
Right,
Bridge, under pressure from Humbles, has to play it. Plays it down. It's going to bounce in towards Akinola. Booty gives it to Richardson. Booty gets the ball back. Newton on the edge of the area goes for a shot and straight at the goalkeeper. And Mark just... the forward line was stagnant there. Malcolm's outnumbered. And that's as long as it stays with one up top, that'll be the case till the 90 minutes.
Yeah, but again, I think there's still a little bit of... we don't go quite yet. That time is coming. You can sense it. But I don't think it's quite there yet. The fact that there are two strikers warming up probably tells you that.
Well, my drinking abilities are the same as Gateshead shooting abilities. I missed my mouth there. 65 minutes gone 0-0 if you are just joining us, whether it's on the Heat Army podcast audio stream or on DAZN National League TV.
Awful lot of walking around from Gateshead, I've got to be honest. It's not too much urgency being shown.
No, not at the moment. As Hannant on the halfway line plays it back to Richardson inside the Gateshead half. Bartley shows on this far side. On the side, should I say. Humbles. Cuts in with it. Gives it back to Richardson.
Gotta go quicker.
Grayson in space. He's got time and space to run into. Gets it out to Warman. Warman back to Grayson. Booty. Akinola. Newton manages to thread it to Bartley. Out now to Humbles. Humbles inside now to Akinola. Akinola turns, lays it off to Kent Richardson. Gateshead camped out on the edge of the area, but not probing. Richardson to Akinola. Akinola beaten to the ball, and that's where Gateshead have to be careful. There's Kendall on the far side, and now he's got the ball driving into the box. Great tackle from Kent Richardson. Must-win tackle. And Gateshead can turn and try and drive as Warman brings the ball forward. Akinola in the centre. Magnay's screaming for width. He wants players on this right-hand side. Now Bartley has it. Humbles on this right-hand side, receives it up against Jack Bridge. Managed to put a ball in, but there's nobody challenging from Gateshead.
It's not a foul. It's not a foul. He's dived.
The player went down as Booty tries to thread it through, and, well, ball cleared at the moment, and Kent and Richardson having to battle with Kendall to stop the ball moving forward, and Shelby comes out of his area to get that ball under control.
Moments like that, and it's only a tackle, but moments like that can swing momentum. That's brilliant defending from Kent and Richardson.
On a yellow as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's just held himself. He hasn't committed or anything.
Well, we are going to see a sub, and it's going to be from the visitors.
Can't quite see who it is. I'm not sure it's Macaulay Bonne.
Well, and the ball from Bartley to Humbles was just too much on it. And we are going to see this substitution here as Carl Magnay tries to G up his players for more movement. And
it's two subs, I think.
Yeah, let's see. It's going to be a double substitution from the visitors. Number 12 is going to be... No, there isn't a number 12. Must be 21. I think Hopper might be coming off. Seeing the board upside down. Well, Macaulay Bonne is stripped and ready to go, as is Josh Walker. Ball still in play, though, at the moment. Free kick to Gateshead.
Let's get down and play.
As we are going to see the substitution happen now. As Tom Hopper was walking back into position. He gives the away following a round of applause as he comes off, but Macaulay Bonne will be replacing him. I've been very busy the front line for Southend, whether it's closing down or trying to chase onto a ball, and it is going to be Charlie Kendall coming off as well for Josh Walker. So the two front men who have put in a great shift, it must be said, are off. And it does look like we are going to see Gateshead make a sub here. There's the subs coming back to the bench. Well, will we see Newbley come on? There's definitely movement down there. But at the moment, Richardson plays the ball over to Bartley. Bartley drives forward with the ball. Humbles, holds the ball up, tries to thread it through. It's a little bit blind, but the ball went over the top now. Macaulay Bowen looks to try and chase it down, but Kent Richardson can see that one out.
It's Newell's come back, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there was a couple of players taking off their training bibs on the bench. There is going to be a substitution here. It's one of the Gateshead coaches goes to the fourth official. Ball played over the top, looking for Josh Walker. Bartley can win the header. It's going to fall to Booty, who gets past his man. Plays it, lovely ball. Can he thread this away? Newton tries to send it away, and Akinola chases it down. Oh, and there's a free kick as Ralph goes down. There's arms from Akinola, but the decision making from Tyrell Newton there.
It's such a simple. He's looking the way of Javon Malcolm, and he's turned the opposite way. It's such a bizarre choice of pass. Charlie Colgate coming on. And Horton, it's triple sub.
Triple substitution here. Horton coming on. I think this might be a tactical change. I think we might see Horton go left wing back and Hannant right wing back here.
Possibly Humbles push further in.
But Newell's on.
Substitution for Gateshead. On the pitch, the 23, Tyrell Newton.
Ben Warman comes off for Charlie Colgate.
He's done all right today, Warman.
Yeah.
When he's been the one who sort of pressed from the number 10 role.
And Horton is about to come on for. Yes, it is going to be a swap of wing backs side to side. So Horton goes left wing back, and we're going to have Hannant right wing back. So Gateshead going a little bit more attacking now with two forwards on the pitch.
Well, we said with 25 minutes left, there'll be a decision to make, and Colin McNair's made it.
He has. The ball goes out to play for a Gateshead throw here inside their own half. Quickly taken. Richardson back to Shelby. Shelby to Booty. Picks out Richardson. Richardson has Akinola. Bartley, Gateshead passing it around the back. A lot of pressure from the Southend front line to try and close it down as Shelby goes long up towards Malcolm, but picked up in midfield by the visitors. Pia Forson wins a free kick on the far side.
Throw-in.
Throw-in, sorry. As the away fans really start to get behind their side. The ball being dried off on the shirt. Scott Morris takes the throw, gets it to Pia Forson. Pia Forson back to Scott Morris. Scott Morris drives with the ball, flicked on the area. It's going to be put right back into the centre. Gateshead need to clear their lines. Falls now in the centre, shot away, and Newell trying to help at the back with the ball as now he gets his first touch. Newell onto the ball, holds it, tries to play it forward. Good life, pings the ball up. Shelby can get.
What's that?
And there's a foul on the keeper. Macaulay Bowen goes into Shelby. Well, he's injured. Shelby's landed awkward. Macaulay Bowen got right underneath him as he went to grab the ball. Big decision for the referee to make here. No, he's not going to give anything, and eyebrows raised. I thought that was a foul.
Gateshead FC Ladies final, and very important North East Regional Women's Football League Northern Group.
Both teams taking this break in play to take on some water. Tiernan Brooks going for a warm-up down on the left-hand side here for Gateshead. Right, Shelby is up. Just going through a movement.
Another sub coming on. Not sure who it's for.
I think it's for the visitors. And Shelby up on his feet. We're not blessed with replays from where we are. More commentary points. It'd be interesting to see it again, but from our point of view, it did look like a foul. But
he's given a foul.
Yeah, he's given a foul, of course. But yeah. No. It's a little bit further back.
It's about 20 yards back.
Yeah. Well,
he was offside.
Ball up. Ralph with a free header. Macaulay Bowen tries to keep it in. Comes off a Gateshead player. "15 minutes remain of normal time here. As it stands, Southend will be in the playoffs." Akinola couldn't control it midfield, but Booty can. Tries to flick it up in the air. Gets it towards Noble. Got it to Jovan Malcolm. Malcolm having to hold and guard the ball, which he does. Booty gets it over to Grayson.
Wasn't going to give it, was he?
Horton gives it to Grayson.
Oh, movement again. Stop. Static.
Ball across to Bartley. Bartley has Humbles. Humbles looks up. There's a run from Nublet. Nublet holds the ball up. Just stun away. He manages to do well to get it to a teammate as Hannant gives it back to Richardson. Edge of the centre circle. Gateshead trying to probe. Bartley wins the header. Akinola gets it under control. Does very well. Lays it off to Booty. Booty sees the run of Malcolm. Header goes on the far side. Corner to Gateshead.
Yeah, it's better. It's at that phase now with Gateshead. Not quite now or never, but a head injury in the middle.
Good life as so I think there's been a clash of heads there as they went up for the ball. It's been full-blooded today, but played in a good spirit. There hasn't been any naughtiness in a bad way, has there? Full-blooded tackles.
Joe Grayson's done his own.
In comes the delivery, and there's two players down in the box. Two Gateshead players. Hasn't been cleared as Gateshead 2 managed to get to the ball, but it's been cleared. It's going to bounce, and can it be kept in? And it's a Gateshead throw, quickly taken as Bartley chips it forward to Hannant. Hannant needs to get the ball under control, and he's got the man all over his back. Bartley keeps it in. And, well, as I say, Hussein has done absolutely wonders there with holding the men up. Ball comes down.
Foul.
Gateshead keep it in and keep the ball moving. Gateshead fans starting to get a little bit more noisy as Grayson has moved into the centre. Charlie Colquitt went to centre back briefly there.
Turn
on the far side, but Akinola lays it off to Booty. Grayson. Don't know if Bartley's feeling something there. He just twinged his leg. But Gateshead in the centre. Booty takes the ball forward. Chips it into the centre towards Nublet, headed away by Ralph. The Pia Forson flicks it on, but only as far as a Gateshead player. And Gateshead get the ball back down. Colquitt out to Horton. Booty in the centre circle gives it to Richardson. Bartley. Bartley gets it to Hannant. Hannant flicks it inside to Nublet, who holds it up. He's So was he fouled there?
Foul.
Referee says no, but Gateshead still have the ball. Akinola out to Hannant, right-hand side. Gateshead just playing with a little bit more belief and moving the ball around. As the ball comes to Grayson now. Plays the ball into the centre up towards
It's not
the
a
big
bad
men.
ball in.
But
No one.
bounces through. No one gambled on it. And Bartley is struggling a little bit. I think it might be his hamstring. As Good Life is down on his knees again.
Cav Miley coming on.
And it is, Cav Miley coming on for.
I wonder if it's just a bit of cramp for Bartley. Yeah, I think that's cramp.
Well,
Ollie Colker comes off, is replaced by Cav Miley. Good Life seems to be struggling somewhat though. He's
Bit of tower strength at the back, Ben Goodliff. There's someone plenty of experience in there.
just
Really
taking
led.
on a little bit more water there. And throw it to the visitors. And we've got 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes of normal time remaining here. As Booty was fouled there by Josh Walker. Southend bench a little bit aggrieved by that one. Was a little bit soft. As the referee not happy with the officials. A yellow card to the coaching staff there.
We're talking about Gateshead being nervous, but Southend will be getting a bit edgy now because
Yeah.
one goal now and not a lot of time to get it back.
Newell's shirt pull there, acrobatically cleared by Apaya Forson. Colquitt back to Richardson. Macaulay Bone chasing down. Ball up to Hannant. Inside to Akinola.
Got themselves out a little bit of a problem there, Gateshead pretty well.
Horton takes a touch. Plays it over to Colquitt. Grayson. Grayson looks to see where there's movement in front of him. Goes to Akinola. Akinola back to Grayson. Colquitt has Horton, but gives it back to Grayson. Oh, ball left for Newblay, but just couldn't get onto it. Ball cleared forward for Macaulay Bone and goes all the way through to Shelby.
I think left might have been generous, Dave. I think they miscontrolled.
Painting pictures with words. As long as people aren't watching on telly, we're all right. Gateshead still trying to build from the back. Out to Horton on the far side. Takes a touch and turns and carries it down the line. Grayson looks to get this towards Newblay, who backheads it on, and it's going to go out for a corner. And Gateshead have another opportunity to get the ball in the box. 0-0. Best part of 8 minutes left.
Probably looking at 5 on top, 6 maybe.
Possibly with the subs and the stoppages. As Booty puts this one into the box, headed clear. Gateshead need to get onto the loose ball, and they have. Horton puts it back to Booty. Booty's got time and space. Puts one into the box. As Newblay goes down, and so does Malcolm in the centre. Hannon picks the ball up on the far side. Southend pinned back at the moment as another deep probing ball comes into the box, headed away, only as far as Booty, who nodded it forward. And I think Kent Richardson might just be feeling the pace of the game there, as Akinola's control just lets him down slightly, and Bartley with a foul there. And as we said before, maybe taking one for the team, that tackle.
It'd be time to take him off, if I'm honest. The big issue at the moment is Nick Hayes hasn't made a save, has he?
No.
He's not really made it.
Well, he's had a shot to stop it, but it wasn't a save.
Come on, he hasn't made a save, if we're honest.
No need to point the facts out.
He's had a couple that are straight at him that you would expect any goalkeeper in the world to save.
Well, Tyrell Sellers Fleming is warming up, another striker for Gateshead. as is Max Sheaf. Ball launched up, nodded down by Southend, cleared by Gateshead though, and now Jovan Malcolm chasing the ball down, and Scott Morris clears the ball out of touch on the far side. Well, can Gateshead keep probing? Hannon peels away on this right-hand side. He's got a lot of time and space, but the ball on the left-hand side at the moment. Booty puts the ball to Colquitt. Colquitt threads it through. Can Horton put the delivery into the box? Pulls it across. Noble's there, but it just goes behind him. Hasn't been fully cleared. Gateshead can get the ball down the box.
Someone
tries to get to it. Now Gateshead pinning Southend back. They just need the right delivery. Ball comes out to Horton on the far side. Needs the delivery in. Cuts inside with it. Lays it back to Booty. Booty puts it in, back header. It's going to be a looping one for the keeper. And Vine goes for another corner.
That hit the bar, I think, didn't it?
Yeah. But
the class is a shot.
Yeah.
Well, we now are at the now and never phase, aren't we?
Gateshead probing. They have another corner. 85 minutes gone. In comes the delivery. And has been headed clear right back towards Booty, and it's going to be a throw. Quickly taken. Colquitt takes a touch, gives it back to Booty, back to Colquitt. If he's got time and space, can he get the cross in? He can. It's in towards the danger area. Hasn't been cleared. Akinola nods it down. Oh, and here's Hannon on the edge of the area. Brings the ball down. Gets it to Malcolm on the far side. Malcolm trying some trickery, trying to get the ball just moving.
Good ball.
Booty on the edge of the area. He sees the run of Malcolm. Puts it back across. Keeper scrambling to get there. Up in the air, bounces through, and it goes for another corner to Gateshead. Gateshead, the best spell in the game so far, but they need to make it count.
You could argue their first spell.
In it comes. There's another player down in the box. Ball goes through and out for a goal kick. As Good Life is down again.
Tyrell Sellers, Fleming coming on. Gateshead really going for it now.
Bartley coming off. Gateshead threw the dice, sacrificing a defender for an attacker.
William Humble's named as man of the match. For Gateshead.
Well, best part of 4 minutes remain. There is going to be a sub for the visitors as well. Player getting stripped and ready for action in the next break of play. Ball bounces through. Josh Walker battling with Grayson. Grayson manages to poke it clear, but the ball headed forward. Gateshead need to win the second ball. It's been nodded down. Apaya Forson lays it back to Scott Morris. Scott Morris, it looks like he's going to slow it down. Hussein. Southend will not be wanting to do anything silly here. As they play the ball forward, looking for Scott Morris. Scott Morris tries to nod it down. It's a corner to the visitors.
It's where they'll want the ball.
And it's going to be Chambers Parolin that's going to come on.
Make it easy for yourself. He's only got Parolin on his back of his shirt.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? Yeah,
let's
go with that. A bridge is making way. Kent Richardson is down with cramp at the moment.
Substitution for Southend United. In the pitch, number 7, Jack Page. On the first ball, number 19, Leon Chambers Parolin.
I think that might be the end of Kent Richardson, you know.
Jamie Bramwell coming on.
Yeah.
Kent Richardson looking as if he doesn't want to come off.
Yeah, he's off. He's give the captain's armband to Regan Booty. Well, 2 minutes remain plus stoppages. Has there might be 6 or 7 minutes added on here, Mark?
You see Newcastle's full Dixon thinks 10.
Does he think 10? Does he? Wow.
I'll be surprised if it is 10.
Well, Kenton Richardson has to leave the pitch. It looks like cramp. He's gave everything today. He's still stretching behind the goal.
Gateshead, moving the pitch, number 5, our captain, Kenton Richardson, being replaced by number 38, Jamie Bramwell.
He's screaming at his players to keep at it. Is on the far side. They're going to try and keep it in the corner. Southend, they've earned the right to. Cross into the box, headed clear by Grayson. Second ball needs to be won by Gateshead. It was, but can't direct it towards a teammate as Gateshead push out. Scott Morris fires a ball forward and out that goes for a goal kick. 1 minute remains of normal time. Ball up towards Nubley, who nods it on. Macaulay Bowen heads it, but Gateshead can't pick it and play it forward as Hayes quickly off his line to marshal that one out on the far side. And I dare say he'll take his time here to take this goal kick. The Southend.
We're going to find out how long I've got. If you can work at this time, Mr. Joyce.
Well,
8, I think.
I think it's going to be 8 minutes added on here. Is there a twist in the tail of this game? Still got 10 seconds remaining of normal time. Ball headed forwards as Sellers Fleming chases on to get to this ball. He's going to get there, chests the ball down. He needs some support though. As 8 minutes has been held aloft. Gateshead have a throw in here on the right hand side.
Surely Newell needs to come near post.
Yeah, well, everybody back for the visitors. Bodies on the line, headed clear. Only as well, Walker is going to change and chase this one down. Josh Walker, Gateshead win it though. Ball played forward as Shelby has to come off his line quickly to disrupt. Oh, Akinola gets the ball, gives it to Booty on the halfway line. Hannant on this right hand side. Can the ball
not the right
pulled
ball.
up for
not
him?
the right ball.
Just over 7 minutes remain. 0-0. And if you didn't already know, a win for Gateshead would take them into the playoffs. A draw is good enough for the visitors. As the away fans spring into life and song on the far side, they feel it that they're close.
Again, I go back to it, but Nikkei just hasn't made a save.
Header won by Gateshead, flicked on by Nubley. Malcolm, bit of shirt pulling from both sides, headed on by Macaulay Bowen. Bramwell gets the ball, plays it forward from Horton. Gateshead just not picking up them second balls in midfield as the ball goes out for a throw on the far side. Quickly taken. Nubley didn't win the header.
I don't think the quick throw needed to be taken. He's
No,
onside.
ball over the top.
It's definitely on.
Referee is onside. Macaulay Bowen driving forward with it, holds it up, takes it out the dead ball line, pulls it back across, too close to Shelby, and Shelby quickly rolls it out. And Booty can bring the ball forward now. Still carrying the ball forward, Booty lays it off to Akinola. Akinola has Colquitt, uses him. Horton on the far side receives the ball.
He does, but he's on his own.
Bramwell plays it to Horton. Out to Colquitt. Back to Horton. It's just patiently building now. A sweeping ball into the box. It's up in the air. Needs to be won by a Gateshead head. Booty puts it back in. Brought down by Sellers Fleming. Sellers Fleming, was he brought down in the box? Peels for a penalty. It would have been very soft if it had been given.
No chance. No chance. He's looking for that.
Crossfield ball.
That's a right ball either.
Oh, and comes off the arm, but Apaya Forson jumps onto it and drags that ball forward with him. Slows it down to the halfway line.
5 left.
Well, Scott Morris wins a throw in on the far side as he G's up the away fans. Well, the Southend start to believe even more that the playoffs are just around the corner.
Trip to Rochdale, isn't it? Arthur. Oh, nice.
Nice movement and the ball coming. Oh, and it just goes over and deflects out for a corner to Southend, and another opportunity for them just to burn down the clock here. Well, there is a flare being set off on the far side. The party is already starting.
Finally found out we were playing 8 minutes, a minimum of 8 minutes additional time.
Well, Southend just trying to keep a hold of the ball. Comes off a Gateshead player. Another throw into the visitors. Southend trying to hold it up in the corner through Josh Walker.
Still more there.
Done very well as Parolin is going to do the same thing. Gateshead trying to overload it there, and Macaulay Bone helping win the ball as Akinola loses out and it goes out for a goal kick. Gateshead can now an opportunity to get the ball up the pitch.
Might as well just all get up. That's just awful.
That was a hit and hope ball from Booty. Panic Station's ball on the far side. There's players in the centre. Can he keep it in? He can't. Oh, he has.
It's done very well there.
Very well there. Gateshead do manage to come away with the ball. Gateshead's forward line need to work together here, and that's a good flick on. Can Gateshead get towards the goalkeeper as he gets right to the edge of his box? Clears the ball. Great work from the goalkeeper. Well, we've got about 2 minutes remaining now as the clock ticks down. Do Gateshead have another roll of the dice?
Oh, just pass out.
And that's a great tackle. The ball played out to the far side, and the Southend fans love what they're seeing at the moment. They're controlling the ball, using it to great effect and holding it up in the corner flag. And it's a goal kick to Gateshead, and this time I think they really do need to get this ball up the pitch quickly. Newblade battling, but good lift can bring it forward. Bramwell needs a shout to get the ball forward. Beaten in the air. Bramwell comes back in against Walker, holds the ball up. Booty puts it back up towards Newblade. Can he win the header? He has. He's got it to Jovan Malcolm. Can he pull it back across? It's a corner ball to Gateshead.
Might as well send the keeper up as well. Get everyone up.
Shelby's asking. Keeper's going up. Well, Southend manager has his head in his hands at the moment. As Booty puts the delivery in it comes. He pulls that one out the air, and down he goes. And his teammates congratulate him like he scored a goal. Not the best delivery in. And Hayes will take his time here. As he just winds down the clock. Kicks the ball. 30 seconds remain for Gateshead. Their season is about to end here at Gateshead International Stadium. Much will be said about this season in the coming days. But at the moment, Southend, they've timed their run nicely at the end of the season and got themselves into the playoffs.
Made the right decisions at the right time.
In comes the throw. It's going to be held up at the corner flag. Macaulay Bone doing well. Josh Walker holding the ball up. And the ball comes off another Gateshead player and out it goes. As you wait this throw in. Southend fans in great voice, and they're about to go into more as Southend progress to the playoffs. They've finished in 7th place, and Gateshead, their season fell away from them in truth. But you have to give credit where credit's due. Southend came here, did a professional job. We're never really tested, Mark, in truth. And they go on to the playoffs. We wish them all the best. But a lot of questions will be asked at Gateshead. How did they go from 12 points embedded to falling out with such ease? But we have to look at that for next season. But Mark, a hard one to take from a Gateshead perspective.
Yeah, it is. It is. Again, we played 98 minutes, just over 98 minutes, and Nick Hayes hasn't made a save. Never really tested them. They'll come off the pitch thinking, what if, and could have done more, and you can't do that in big games like this. I'll say it again, I've said it numerous times during the game. I think Southend have managed the game brilliantly.
They were calm, composed, everything that Gateshead weren't for large spells of the game. The fans on the far side will got to say it again.
Unbelievable.
They've been unbelievably loud and proud.
And good luck to Southend in the playoffs.
Absolutely. They've earned the right to be there. And as I say, a massive thank you to everyone that's joined us on our audio stream and on DAZN National League TV. It's been an absolute honour to bring you this game. But from our point of view, looking at Gateshead, questions will be asked in the summer. They'll have to come back and rebuild. But Southend, could they be on their way back to the Football League?
Yeah, and as I mentioned, they are a Football League club and everything. But status, they may well be back in there soon. But you look at the support they brought, the support they have in home games. It's phenomenal. I just think today was a really, really good away performance from them. Disciplined, organised, everything that you need to get the result you need. They've been fantastic. Kevin Mayer should be proud of his players, and I'm sure the fans over there, and they'll have a great journey home. And as I say, best of luck to them at Rochdale on Wednesday week, I think it is. I'm sure they'll go and have a right good go there, and it should be a cracking tie between two clubs that are, let's be honest, Football League clubs.
Certainly is. Well, we'll just say one last thank you for everyone that's joined us throughout the season. Good luck to Southend in the next game. And if you get to Wembley, enjoy it. For us, we'll be back with the Heed Army podcast on one night this week. Well, we'll pick the bones out of that one, as it were. But Carl Magny and his men make their way off the pitch. There is some booze. And, questions will be asked. But they gave it all today. It just wasn't enough. So thank you very much. We'll see you next time. And remember, all the other playoff games are live on DAZN. You'll be able to watch them fully live and interactive. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.